Hi there, everybody. It's Fred Thomas, and you are watching Rideable TV, home of all things bike, frame and wheel, and AD bikes. And this is part 4 of our series that investigates who the sponsors are of the UCI World Pro Tour cycling teams. So let's continue on. We are looking at Team Jumbo Visma. I had no idea who Jumbo Visma was all this time that Primož Roglič has been doing incredible things. Sepp Kuss, I just didn't know. Turns out that Jumbo is a Dutch supermarket chain, and Visma is a Norwegian business software and information technology company. Just didn't know that, but now I do, and so do you. I'm sure they have high recognition in the Netherlands. Jumbo, at least, is a global word. Everybody associates it with something that is big. So they got through, I think. The team, they ride Cervelos, and if it had a U.S. equivalent, it might be Publix Oracle. Moving on to Team Quebec Asos. I just didn't know. I picked up Asos. That's a little bit easier to recognize because it's a cycling apparel company, but Quebec was a total mystery to me. Turns out Quebec is a South African charitable nonprofit organization that gets bicycles into communities in Africa that just need basic, reliable transportation. And they're doing great work. It's making a difference. Whole communities can get around when previously they couldn't. It is a great organization, and clearly they have high recognition in South Africa. I think the global audiences like me gravitated to Asos, but if they keep going out there and doing good, racing hard, people are going to come around and start learning about what this organization does. They're on BMC bikes. If they had a U.S. equivalent, it might be World Bicycle Relief Verge, which is a U.S. brand that makes excellent clothing, just as high quality as what you find elsewhere in the market. Moving on to Trek Segafredo. Well, here you go. Trek is an American bicycle company, and as a cyclist, we probably think that everybody's heard of Trek. But they're out there as a title sponsor because they want to make sure that everybody knows that Trek is a bicycle company. And Segafredo, I was surprised to learn, is a coffee brand and coffee company. It's all over the place in Europe. I had never seen a Segafredo ever before until I did actually go to Europe a couple of years ago and walked off the plane, and boom, there was a Segafredo coffee shop. So I think they've got high global recognition. It would be good to have the word coffee in there somewhere, but I think they're doing just fine. Team obviously rides Trek. If it had a U.S. equivalent, it might be called Specialized Starbucks, or should I say Trek Starbucks. That would do. Moving on to UAE, Team Emirates. Well, UAE is one of the country sponsors. United Arab Emirates is a Gulf state, the size of South Carolina in terms of square miles. It's in the Persian Gulf. And Emirates is a global airline that's based in Dubai and probably owned mostly by the UAE government. UAE is also, their mission is to raise their profile with the West. Excuse me. They've been a petro state for a long time, but they realized that they can't do that forever quite a while ago. And now Dubai has become a regional business hub. It's a tourist destination. I think they still export some oil, but for sure they are getting a great return on their investment in this team because Tadej Pogačar is just riding so well in the Tour right now. He won it last year. Everybody has heard of UAE Emirates, and if they hadn't, they have now. If there was a U.S. equivalent, it might be Ohio Southwest Airlines. I was surprised to realize that Emirates, even though they fly huge planes all over the world, in terms of revenue, they're about the size of Southwest Airlines. And moving on to Alpecin Phoenix. This is actually a UCI pro team. It's not World Tour. And Alpecin is a personal care products company from Germany that focuses on men's hair care. who knew? But they knew, and I think they've got the demographic really zeroed in. There are a lot of men who watch the tour who are worried about their hair, how much they have and how much they don't have. And they are also getting a spectacular return because of Mathieu van der Poel is just doing incredible things. And a couple of days ago, his multiple attacks on the Mur, it's very steep, picking up 8 seconds and then winning it. I mean, that was absolute history. I think everybody probably went, hopefully, to Alpecin to check it out. And they should also go to Fenix, which is an Italian interior design materials company. So very, very fine materials used for designing the interiors of your home. High recognition in Germany for sure. They're the only personal care product sponsor on the at the race. They're on Canyon. And if there were a U.S. equivalent, it might be called American Crew Formica Group. So there we go. That is part 4. Check out the other parts on the playlist. This is a great resource for rest day. We're going to be sending more your way soon. Thanks so much for watching.